Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast, Beyond Veils. My name is Sharon Miranda, and I'm here today with my dear friend, TOMUSANGE. We want to understand how we are actually disempowered, how we disempower ourselves, the other factors outside of ourselves disempower us, and how we are kept in ignorance at the same time. So, Tom, what do you think it means to someone who is hearing this for the first time, hearing that disempowerment? What is the definition of disempowerment?
Disempowerment and ignorance. You see, I think we start from ignorance. When I start from ignorance, you see, when somebody lacks some knowledge about something, it means they are ignorant about it. And there are two aspects of that. Some people decide to choose to be ignorant because information is given to them and they choose to leave it.
That's the active ignorance.
That is the active
passive
one.
And active.
True that.
Okay.
And the other one is
the passive.
You do not have the information available to you.
Yeah.
So you find that in that, and sometimes people make us ignorant by denying us that chance. Or when it's around, somebody just takes it away.
Okay.
They don't allow you to consume it. And that's very terrible. So in the long run, it really disempowers us. And I think that's what we are going to look at deeply today.
Okay. How would you define disempowerment?
I would first define empowerment.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know that when you're empowered, you have that power, energy within you that pushes you to do something. You understand? You can be empowered to worship. Somebody can be empowered to do a business or something that is useful in community, all to themselves and their family. And when you're disempowered, it means that you do not have that urge, you don't have that drive, you don't have that motivation to do what you want to do. And at the end of the day, there are very various effects that are negative that come to you, like depression, feeling like you do not have ability, seeing yourself as a small person. And at the end of the day, you get depressed, and that's terrible.
Okay.
You know?
So understanding this disempowerment thing, how have I, okay, let's just give specifically to me, let's say anyone outside there, let's say my name is Jane. How has Jane disempowered herself? What's the word? On an individual level, like inward or something like that. How has she disempowered herself? And then we can discuss personal disempowerment, and at the same time we can look out the outside factors. Yeah.
True that. The first thing I want to drive it to myself. There are things that that disempower me. For example, when I want to understand disempowerment within me, I need to first understand myself.
Okay.
Many people do not understand even what they want to achieve in life. People do not know even about the feelings that they have. Somebody cannot understand that I'm sad, but they just become sad and they do actions. You understand? So there is a very big thing that comes into understanding yourself. You need to understand yourself deeply up to a point that you are aware of everything that happens to you. Now, going back to the question, myself to get disempowered comes from things like my perception. If I've already built a dogma around me, or I believe in some cult, and I think it's a limiting factor to my success, it means that indirectly, I'm disempowering myself.
Like subconsciously.
It is subconscious. You understand? And most of the things within are subconscious. You find that you do it, but you don't understand. Secondly, there is having a positive mindset versus having a negative mindset.
Would you say if you are disempowering yourself, would you disempower yourself in awareness or still in ignorance? Because as far as I'm concerned, you don't wish yourself anything bad. You wish yourself good things. So any disempowerment is such a negative thing.
That's really interesting because I've seen people who hang themselves. I don't know if they wish bad for themselves or they wish, I don't know. But I want to go back to your question. The first thing is that there is disempowerment in ignorance, first of all, because if you're not aware of yourself, you don't know the true feelings that you have. You don't know about how you think, the thought process. It means that indirectly, you're going to get disempowered, because we are talking about energy and motivation, a drive to do something positive. You understand? And when do you feel like you don't have that? When you are disempowered. Now, this comes from, first of all, some people are disempowered spiritually. When it comes from their line, you find that
like their beliefs,
and even their, I don't know how I can call it, but it has been an effect in a line in their
like a family lineage.
Yes. When everybody was disempowered, everybody has victim mentality. Where it has been in their home.
Okay, so it's like a cycle that is going on around the lineage.
Yes. And you find that at the end of the day, this person doesn't have motivation. Secondly, it depends on the society where you are. When you live around people who are not empowered, every time they're complaining, every time they're not motivated, you're going to, because you see, when you look to them, you listen to them, you take in their information, it means that you're going to behave like them, because behavior is influenced from thought. You think about it. First of all, you perceive. After perception, you think about it. After thinking about it, you feel it. When you feel something, it prompts actions. So the actions create a behavior when you do it consistently, either from your emotions or your moods. And you understand that by doing that, you're not going to be empowered.
Okay, that's like personal disappointment. So how can what can you say to me to come out of that situation of keeping myself in the victim mode? What can I do to elevate, to help myself overcome?
Yeah, that's actually interesting, because you see, for me personally, how I've been able to come out of that situation, because everybody, I think, has ever been disempowered at some point, everyone. But people come out, and how I've been able to come out is, first of all, I've developed this thing of developing a positive concept. I be like, every time I look at a person or I look at a situation, I learn from it. You learn because people have experiences, and these experiences plus your experiences shape your future, the way you see the things that are coming in your future. It means that, first of all, I put myself to learn. You accept that I'm going to learn from the situation, and you are willing to learn from it. At the end of the day, you learn about yourself and about society. It means when something comes and it's trying to disempower you, you already understand. You even understand the causes of disempowerment. So it will be very easy for you to think about a solution than sit down without knowing.
I think also, in addition to what you just said, is also living in awareness.
Yes.
Because if you are actively aware of what is going on, it's also a process and like a daily making an effort to stay in this state of awareness. So obviously, as things happen to you, you're going through your day or through your week, to take a step back and reassess, examine your thoughts, examine what's been happening. Is it for the good, for the bad? How do I overcome it? How do I come out of it without not squeezing myself into? Because sometimes we speak negatively to ourselves and we get stuck in that process. Yes. In that, it's like you lost your granny 20 years ago, and you're still in that grave. You understand? So we need to you need to talk to yourself of how the grieving is always a process and everything, but you can't be grieving for 20 years.
Let me even speak something about self-discovery, because I think that is the point I wanted to bring before I brought the other one.
Okay.
Self-discovery, like when you brought awareness, it reminded me of the point. Self-discovery, what's knowing yourself? What's knowing thyself, knowing myself and understanding who I am? Because I think it's a very important point. Knowing about yourself, you know, first of all, about how you feel, how you think, how you perceive things from the society, the processes that go into your body, like your biology, your physique, and everything.
The information you consume.
You are aware of the information that pisses you off. You understand what really makes you happy. And because ultimately we are looking for happiness. I've had this chat for a very long time with my people. telling them that ultimately, the ultimate truth or reality is happiness. Everybody is working to get happiness. And they were like, I want to get money. I want to get a family. What? Yes. The reason as to why you're looking for money is to be peaceful and enjoy a happy life. Ultimately, that's the last one most of the times.
But I think everybody, that's a general thing, but everybody has what they're looking for.
Yes, look at this. We have purposes, we have goals, we have visions, we have everything. But why do we want to achieve this?
Peace.
Peace brings happiness.
Financial freedom.
You understand? So ultimately, you'll be very happy. So knowing exactly, you see, even being aware of your thoughts is very important, because the truth is that the driver of the actions that you take in society come from within. Even if somebody tells you or gives you information about something, or a teacher teaches you something, a trainer trains you something, the ultimate decision to act is done by you. And if you decide not to do it, you will never do it. So improving your decision making starts from understanding how you feel, how you think, and trying to make sure that you even understand. Going back to spirituality, you also need to understand your dreams. I realized later that dreams are very important. And I've had this conversation where people say, follow your dreams. I didn't know it.
Is that when you're sleeping dreams?
Yes, they're very important, because you see, sometimes people dream and they act on their dreams and their realities.
Okay.
It's very helpful to them.
We might have another
podcast when we talk about that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't agree. So coming back to what you were saying, so understanding what you just explained, so what are the factors that actually disempower us from the outside?
Yes, and I think those are more than the internal ones.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Now, let's start with media. I don't want to twist things. Let's start with media. And we have two types of media. Of course, we have social media and mainstream media. Now, whether governments, corporate bodies, or rich people, or groups around the world, everybody has a narrative they want to drive. Because from people's goals, they set narratives and they build systems in the world. And these are the systems under which people live to act to benefit the people who set them.
Okay.
Now, what's the role of media in this? Most of the people you see that have very many numbers and they're paid. Why do you think they're paid? They're paid to drive narrative.
What do you mean? They have like numbers, like followers and stuff?
Followers and engagements and everything.
Okay.
Most of the people I don't want to say names here, but they're driving a narrative of a certain person. Okay. It can be a company. Everybody you see advertising something.
So wouldn't they do that for themselves, or?
It's very possible, and it is actually okay. I understand. But I'm talking about driving a narrative of a company that has built a system.
They want to promote
something. I don't want to say names.
Don't say names. Just explain your point.
Yeah, they keep popping, but they disturb me. It's okay. So these people have set narratives they want to drive, and these narratives benefit their businesses. They benefit their lives. They benefit them in a way that they won't go to jail if a certain narrative is driven.
So it's kind of like a legal kind of thing.
You understand? So it means that the consumption that we have daily on media, both mainstream and social media, because do you know how they have taken away the social media? They've gotten people who have been on these medias, okay, and they have given them empowerment in resources and everything to come and drive the same narrative but differently, as if it's personal. Okay. So at the end of the day, you understand that somebody is saying something that will influence your mind because you believe in them. Like, for example, there are people I follow so much.
People that we call role models.
Role models. Every time you look at him, you be like, I want to be like that person.
They're the influencers as well.
But you consume, because for him, he has to get money and he has to survive. You keep consuming. And remember, we said, when you consume this information on a daily basis, it becomes a habit. It shapes your perception. You create a reality around you. And this is what you think through every day. And now you're living in a cult unknowingly.
Okay, so media is part of them.
That's one thing.
All right.
Secondly, from the peers that we stay with, the people around us.
People around us.
The friends, the family, the relatives, and everybody. they might have certain traits that they promote in their behaviors, but because sometimes they are older than us, like for example, in our African setting, we respect elderly people so much. When somebody says something, you feel he's an elder. You're going to do it, but at the end of the day, it disempowers you in a way that you feel like, I'll give you one scenario. I remember before we went there was an event we were going to, and somebody said, let me tell you young people, for us, we've seen what was there. We've seen wars. We've seen ABCD. If you go to that, for us, we are very old. We cannot run. So if you care about us, please don't go into that. It was a political situation. So I discovered later that changed a lot of mindsets in villages, and people changed the way they were believing. They changed their principles to that because they have told them Now, the empowerment to go and do the right thing has disappeared in oblivion. You understand? So these are the people around us.
In regards to our elders, like you mentioned, do you think they do it consciously? That are they aware that they're disempowering these young people?
I will say yes and no. First of all, yes is because they do not want the young people to take their positions. Their positions of power, even in community, whereby the elderly people feel like they need to be there to serve because they own monopoly to knowledge. And that's very sad. And it will be very difficult for them to allow young people to come because they know these are energetic
so
people.
They are
kind of
keep you there so they can hold their positions.
They will even deny you resources to empower you. They will deny you access to that position. They will deny you money if it's your father or something, so that you
keep you there
on a low.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, that's quite very interesting, because I thought our families are in support of seeing their lineage blossom and people grow and achieve success and all the things. But like you mentioned, if some of these elders are there to hold us in those little positions and hold you back because they are scared that these young people might come and take our positions, that is a very funny society.
Do you know, before you even complete, I have this one thing. I had a parent bewitched a lady. So a parent bewitched a daughter so that she doesn't go and work for an NGO because she's scared of staying alone.
Okay, Tom, now you're going beyond.
Let's go.
You're going beyond. Okay. Just give us some more outside influences that lead us to disempowerment. Yeah,
of course. Talking about media, I was talking about journalism. But now there are creative pieces, songs, movies, comedy, and they're packaged well and they're posted. I think they're different from journalism. Now, these ones influence.
It's sort of entertainment.
They influence a lot. Entertainment, actually. You find that somebody has sung a song and it really drives your emotions. Because I don't know if people, like, we tend to undermine the effects that songs have on our bodies or our mind. But it's too deep that sometimes you listen to a song, you even change how you behave. Because we've just heard the lyrics, the frequency, the vibration is aligning with yours, and you think about different things. Like, for example, one time I heard Adele's song and I cried. I was like, what's going on? Forgive my language. You understand? So these creative pieces, like movies, they're watched by very many people around the world. You find a movie has 1 billion views. So all these people who have been consuming, they have been consuming a narrative that is packaged. And at the end of the day, it appears to be true. You feel like
to the creator.
You need to think about it. You understand? So that one also brings about disempowerment in a way that it prevents you from thinking straight. You think like them and you take their narrative because they have packaged it very well. It's on Netflix, Roku, everywhere you find it, you be like, this is something good.
Okay, what would you say in relation to the companies and organizations that we work for? How have those participated in personal limitations, in imposing maybe policies or procedures, things that we need to do particularly while we are there, but that keep us in that position as well, disempowered?
Thank you so much. And I'll begin by saying that I remember I went somewhere, this is like 2 years, and I was applying for a position in software engineering department. But I came and they gave me an interview. We had 2 people who were interviewing, no, 3. One was abroad and 2 people were in Uganda here. So I had to present my case, and it was really beautiful according to the other guy.
Okay.
It was so good. It was like, no, this is the person we need
for the job.
And I think for me, it's a yes. It's a yes because he has done this. He understands the language. He understands the process. Now, because one of the persons who were interviewing was a manager who was leading that department.
Okay.
He was like, no. Yeah, because the other guy was very happy. This guy might take up the position. You understand? So where we work from, we threaten.
So you are already denied the job before you even...
I'm already disempowered.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's the first thing. And this has been really happening. You see, when you go for a company, you go to work for a company and you realize that, yes, this is how they do their thing. You understand the formula. They have a culture.
And what's normal in that company that you cannot challenge.
You start acting like that. You are on time. You put out reports very well, very quickly. You are the time you're appreciated by anyone, they will drop you from that position. I don't know about other countries, but this is what I know about here.
Wow. So this is like, from what you're explaining, it seems like a long journey that you have to fight to break through for yourself.
You understand? Now, like you said that point that it's a long journey, it's really individualistic in a way that in order for you to empower yourself, first of all, you need to tell yourself the plans that you have.
Yeah.
You need to tell yourself should be your friend. You listen.
But sometimes you don't even have the resources. You could be having a positive mind and you're good to go. I wanna this. You're self-aware. You are awake and all these things. And then sometimes you don't even have the resources. And probably the person that has to give you the resources is the one that you just mentioned earlier. And
I've gone through that for very many times. And the only way I was able to beat that was to find people like Miranda who think like me. How do I find them? It is the question I've had, that how do you build trust? How do you trust people to be your friends?
Like you purposefully,
yes,
with intention, create a group or people around you that support.
That believe like that. And the other thing is also you don't give them all of yourself. What you do is that, for me, like how I've been able to do it, finding people like Miranda and Bob Concepts and everyone has been through, first of all, seeing the way they treat other people, seeing the way they do their things in society, how they treat other people. So you copy, you be like, this is how he treats people. He's very humble. He's like this. You find traits that you can vibrate along with. Not everything, but at least you be like, I want to be friends to somebody who is willing to understand. For me, that's mine. I want to be around a person who is having confidence, somebody who has confidence.
Who is willing to support where you're going. And then maybe we can work together.
Yes. And that brings my second point, that I trust people when I create a business dealing and we work together. So throughout that process, I track it and I be like, this is how he behaves, because the last temptation is money. That is the last temptation, the biggest. Yeah. So when you understand we have a business dealing and you see it has gone like for 7 months and somebody behaves differently, then you'll be like, I will spot this person. Yeah.
That's a good one. So the other thing I wanted to ask you, like some of us who have kind of accepted things, maybe we've been really disempowered and we're kept in ignorance and we don't even know where to run to. We're like, okay, I will just accept the status quo. So what would you say to me that I'm just accepting whatever it is, whatever you want me to do, tell me I will do, and I just give my power to whoever?
Yeah. Actually, that adds to ignorance. and I really want to touch deeply, a little bit about it. I will tell you one thing. We have systems that run the world. Try to understand them, because there is no way you can manipulate a system without understanding its functionalities and how it functions. You can't manipulate any system, be it social system or scientific. And I'm using the word system because I feel pain every time I use it. It's a system around us. In the body. Systematic inequality everything, kind of thing. Yeah. You understand? So I'll say that pay attention to the systems that affect you directly. Understand how they impact you and how they function. Somehow, you can't understand everything because they hide. The creators hide some aspects. So when you understand, do you know that you can also play in a system that is against you and you leave?
Is that in a positive or a negative way? Because if it's already against you.
A positive, for example, the money system is against Africans.
Really? That's a very strong statement to say. Too deep. Oh, wow. The money system is against Africa. Explain. Give me some more information about that.
Do you want that topic? Give me
give me a little bit. Just slip it.
I'll give you some examples. Look at Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, and everything. Those lead the tech world, Microsoft and everything. When they lead the tech world, they collect data every day. And anyway, I don't want to be so deep, but this is what I'm saying. I've thought about it. These are the leaders in the tech world.
Things.
So it means that if we do not have any of those from Africa, where are the finances going?
Where are the finances going?
Collected from these social media platforms.
Well, from the one that is in Africa?
Yes.
To the people that created the company?
Where they are. Good. Where they are. They benefit the taxes and everything.
They need you.
Yes.
You people to be challenged so that you can begin your own such as platforms.
That's a very good one. Secondly,
you get you to think.
I understand.
So come up to the level and think.
Doesn't it surprise you that PayPal doesn't work in Uganda? Why do you think so?
Is it not working in Uganda?
It doesn't work. You don't receive, but you use it to pay.
Okay, you can't be paid with PayPal. You can't.
Somebody can't send you money. You can't receive
with PayPal
in Uganda.
Oh, maybe it's just not yet here.
But it's in Kenya.
Yeah, but maybe it's coming over to Uganda as well.
I'll be positive. I'll be very positive.
There's room for growth and expansion.
Anyway, the rest is too dark. I don't want to display it on Beyond the Veils.
Okay, what do you think of social marginalization? Is it another thing to
dissect?
To kind of keep people, certain groups of people where they are, like they are socially marginalized?
We've seen it very, very often in religions. That's why I say that these are two sharp things, but I'm saying that people have been marginalized in every society, not only in Uganda, not only in Africa, but everywhere around the world. But that's because somebody wants to benefit from that. Somebody benefits from that. From
isolating a certain group of people?
Yes. First of all, they are not given education. That's the first thing. Because you deny somebody education, you deny them a proper perception. They will only perceive what you have brought. Do you know some people
we have education. Are you talking in relation to this particular country or like generally?
Okay, denying education, I mean, okay, we have the curriculum. That doesn't work for us in our favor. Like, for example, if somebody has graduated from Africa, okay, Uganda, there is a way you come out of campus without knowing how to do things. I don't know why. You think about it, you know some of the information, but you can't build systems. So I think it's trained.
They have trained you, according to their curriculum, they have trained you to do what they've taught you according to ABCD, as it says. So wouldn't not be upon you to, if you have a skill or something, to improvise with that?
Yeah, I think it's your your obligation, but I also want to talk about resources. You see, in our schools, where I studied from, I really want to talk about my experience. We used to have one laboratory where we used to do physics practicals and chemistry practicals plus biology, one this.
Lab.
And you find that at the end of the day, they introduced another paper 3 for those, paper 3 for chemistry, for biology, and for this. You do not get time. They only give us Sunday and Saturday. The rest of the days we are just being given information.
But can you not associate that with
policy?
Not so much your policy, but let's say the school is willing to do what the school needs to do, but the school itself is experiencing poverty that they cannot build you another lab.
And these are very many schools. We are talking about thousands of schools.
In the same position.
You understand? In such a position. And people keep complaining. Even when you go to the university, it's very difficult. Like, for example, I'm interested in building chips from scratch. I'm interested in building things like, we don't have data centers in Uganda, yet we have the money. We don't have very many things we have, like for MTN, and all these things that come are they're from abroad. Somebody comes and says, I want to invest in this. So there is a problem of lack of resources, but these are just denied. We are denied an opportunity. We are disempowered.
On purpose, kind of thing?
I think so.
Maybe they're trying to design a way to how they can distribute these resources sort of evenly.
Maybe.
Something like that. It could be. You have to keep your hopes up high.
Maybe. Maybe. And that one brings about the victim mentality, like we talked about. I think to make it very distinctive, there are facts that happen. But at the end of the day, as a person, you keep asking yourself, how do I survive in chaos? Because the world is in chaos. Everybody wants to take away an advantage. I've learned that your mother, your sister, your brother, your friends, they want to take away an advantage that is natural.
So it's everyone for themselves.
Everyone wants to take away something from you. But how do you survive in that chaos where everybody wants to take the advantage? Because when they take your advantage, you don't stay with it. It decreases.
Yeah.
So how do you survive in that? How do you survive when there is war? Those are very good questions.
So you just have to find out like coping skills to see how you can
best
empower
you can
yourself.
maneuver, because that is the only solution that you can have for yourself, and it's only you that can save yourself.
It's only you. No one is coming. No one is coming. So either you, or you give up on you, or you just fight the battle and save yourself. Yeah. That's true for sure. In regards to spirituality, what can you say? How have we been disempowered spiritually?
Spiritually, do you believe in witchcraft?
Well, we'll come back to that. I think I don't know. So witchcraft does stand, yeah.
So people deny us chances every day. Our friends, our parents, where we live, by bewitching us. That is, it sounds like funny, but people do it. Because I've also
like
realized
spells and things like that.
I've also learned that the world is more spiritual than scientific.
The world is more spiritual, of course.
Yeah, and it is spirituality that backs up science. And you find out that, and I'm very keen about that statement. You find out that everything that happens to us, behavior, thoughts, we are tapping on some plate there. Some people call it consciousness. Some people call it intuition. Some people call it God. You understand? We are tapping onto that plate. But you find that people have ability to use other creatures, spiritual creatures. Some people call them angels. Some people call it a mizimu. Some people call it a misambwa. Some people call it different names. But they can be sent to you to disempower you, to deny you.
Is that you're talking in regards to the witchcraft element where people just cast negative spells on you, and
Yeah, and you realize that these things they come in your dreams, they come into your body, and they disorganize your health, they disorganize the way you think, they disorganize everything. Now you need to be solid. You need to understand exactly how best to stand up for myself spiritually. It doesn't matter whether you are in religion A or B or something, but make sure as you check for your physical body and understanding the world and systems, check for spiritual understanding about yourself.
How about the spiritual texts that we read and the dogma in regards to religion and all these faith and beliefs? Also, the inability to question our spiritual leaders.
Auntie, I want to disarrange, to disassociate religion from spirituality. I really want to do that distinction because they're different things. I believe, TOMUSANGE, believes religion is a system or an industry that has been built to appear like it's the road.
In your interest.
Yes, to appear like it's the road to spirituality, and to appear that it's the only road to spirituality. And I disagree with that. Why? Because I believe spirituality is individualistic. It's a very deep concept. It's within you, within your mind, within your intuition, within you. That's where you find spirituality. You don't need to go to the pastor to teach you about your spirituality. I think you don't need that. The one thing I need, I think, is to first of all to understand that if this is an industry, what is their agenda? What do they want to achieve? If you believe that it's an industry, like I do, what's their agenda? And for somebody who wants to achieve something, do you think they will not marginalize you, or do you think they will empower you to do what? They will keep you in a cult. They will keep you in that group so that they can exploit you. And I'm not necessarily saying that they're exploiting people.
That's you need to clarify that. Yeah, but as you know, everyone is on their spiritual path.
Yeah,
everyone is on their journey. So sometimes we're supposed to go through what we're supposed to go through, because sometimes these awakenings happen through you wanting to know more, and you being in that place, and you beginning to question things. Yeah, then somehow the switch will go on. So some of these things happen to help us, even if some of them are bad, but they do happen to help us.
To understand,
yeah. And also the other thing I wanted to add on to that is somehow we've been programmed to comply and kind of follow the leader kind of type of thing. Yeah, compliancy and having you don't always have a room. If somebody, your leader, your elder says something, you don't really come out there questioning it, especially before them. And then sometimes whatever they say may not even be good for you, like you said earlier, but because we are meant to comply, to accept, to say what Tom said is true, because I believe so much in Tom. So you end up being led into disempowerment. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's very true, and I agree with you. I agree to the fact that we have been programmed by almost everybody around us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's a heavy one.
Yeah, we have been
everybody around us.
Everybody around us.
So is that in our interest, or in everybody around us' interest?
Because we said everybody wants to take a benefit away from you.
Oh, wow.
Because now when you see that everybody wants to take a benefit away from you, they will do whatever it takes to keep you in a situation where they will take more. So be it your friends, be it government or something, or religious institutions or something. Yeah. They always want you to be there. Like it's the same thing with the customers. You've been buying, I don't want to use names. You've been buying a product from a certain company. That company will make sure that this customer keeps coming
back.
So what do they do?
Profit of
yes, what do? They make sure that they keep you in a position whereby you want more of that. If it means reducing the price, they will do it to make sure that you come back. If it means talking to you properly, having good customer service, they will do it. It comes back to an individual. Your friend. Have you assessed your friends? What do they want from you? And it's very important for you to understand exactly what people want from you. Do they want your money? Do they want your opportunity?
People want your money. They want your everything, like you say.
They want your everything.
Yeah.
So when you understand what they want, you can now give it to them in bits. And you also make them do what you want.
How about not giving them at all?
No, you might need them. Because you see, somebody can be around you.
First.
Yeah, somebody can be around you and they have a very good skill that can add up to your team to achieve something bigger. You see, everybody, like we said, everybody wants to take. So are you going to live alone? No.
So
you have to learn how to live in the system.
But just come up with a coping mechanism.
Now, what I do exactly, I make sure that if I understand what you want from me, I give it to you in bits as I make you do what I want.
Wow, that is very, very interesting.
Yes.
The other thing also I wanted to talk about is, do you think that we lack critical thinking in regards to personal empowerment?
First of all, to understand critical thinking, as I understand it, it's a system of understanding the finer details of a problem. Understanding the finer details, the last points, and then you keep building. Sometimes we say it's called a system. Okay, sometimes we say in software engineering that it's a kind of thinking called first principles thinking, where when you look at a situation, a problem, or an object, you make sure that you understand the 5 W's and 1 H. And the 5 W's are why, what, who, where, and when. Then plus the how of that at every step. Now, when you go into finer details of understanding something, it helps you to make decisions. Why? Because you know exactly why, how, where, everything you understand. So the dots are very easy for you to join. Now, do we lack critical thinking? No, according to me, I don't.
Do you think we are empowered to critically think and analyze things in our best interest?
We are not, because the system that has been built to deny us that advantage. I want the person, the viewer, to understand that everything wants to take away. If it's a company, it wants to take your money away. They want you to buy something even if it's not healthy.
Wow.
They want to take your money. They want to take something good. For example, somebody was joking and it was like, it's very funny in Africa. Somebody comes and takes gold and then he gives you paper money instead of giving you at least a company in USA. Or
they give paper money.
They give you paper. They print it. So you take gold, you give it to them, they give you paper instead of giving you maybe land. It should be value for value.
Value for value,
yes, but you print money and you give it to me and we are still okay. For some reason, we are okay.
We'll probably still have a long way to go.
We really
so
have a long way.
In everything that we've just talked about, what are the solutions to this disempowerment, or how can we individually think about our own lives and our own dreams and passions and goals, where we want to go, and begin to work in a way that empowers us to go and achieve those things?
Thank you so much. And I think I'll also drive it back to me, how I've been able to do that, because maybe somebody can be inspired. First of all, we need to understand who we are. We need to understand where we come from. We need to understand what culture do we belong to. We need to understand what culture do we want. We need to understand our goals. We need to set goals. We need to believe certain things that make us get positive outcomes. We need to develop a positive thinking in the world, because when you build positive thinking spiritually, you attract more positive energies, and those energies are spirits. You attract more positive spirits. They come close to you. And when that comes to your life, you think straight, and you also align with people who have the same vibration with you. You keep connecting. The other thing is that let us make sure we educate ourselves. Yeah, I make sure that if I don't know about something, right now we have AI. You can ask any question and it gives you a perspective. You also go to the other article. You also ask friends, but make sure you're not left out, because when the world leaves you out, the system is eliminating you slowly by slowly. You need to be in the system, but you need to play well in the system.
So it doesn't consume you.
Because we are in chaos. We are at war. You need to win. And how do you win? By making sure that whatever goals you have set are successful. You are successful at achieving them. And how you do that? Don't tell people your plans. Because I'll tell you, going back to spirituality, whatever you say out, there are spirits that listen to whatever you say. It's not that this person is going to tell the other person. Sometimes they do, but sometimes there are spirits that are sent to track you. In Luganda, there's a spirit called Kalondos.
By who?
The people around us. I said everybody wants to take away.
But
so they don't allow you to
that extent?
grow. Yes, because they know that when they listen to your plan, they kill it, they do it.
So like it's destiny swapping sort of thing.
Have you worked for a very rich person? Yeah, you will observe people who work for them. Those people are so spiritual. They're very spiritual. And what happens is that they make sure that these people say out their plans. Somebody can bring you to a problem scenario. He's your boss and says, what do you think about that?
Yes, to get
so because you're excited and you love him and you want to protect him, you want to protect the business that is not yours, you say everything. Now, from what you said, they pick. If you don't, they know you are a threat. You're going to tell somebody. So they send a spirit to track you.
Really?
That Kalondo's spirit will go into all conversations that you have with friends on phones and everywhere. So they listen to your plans. That's why they say, keep quiet. If you want to act, start acting. Because they will also get surprised and they will start fearing you. That one is natural. They fear somebody who has started acting on something. Sometimes they join, sometimes they distance themselves because they know when that person goes.
Right. Is it not like a mentality? Like, do you think maybe some people do, but is it general? Like people send you that sort of evil spirits to just ruin your life?
Auntie, okay, let me answer by asking a question. Sorry for asking this question. If you lived in a place where there is war, what would be your precaution to make sure that you win the war?
What would be my
what would be your precaution? What's that caution that comes into your mind that I need to do this? When I do this, they are going to win. When I do this,
probably just have to have a strategy and a good plan against your enemy.
Good. Recognizing that there is an enemy is a very good, important thing in our world here. And who is the enemy? Everyone at some level. You shouldn't hate your enemies.
So I'm thinking we should work together and
yes.
you win. They see you win.
You understand. I think somebody shouldn't hate their enemies, but they should understand their enemies. That's why some people say, keep your enemies closer. Because when you keep them closer, you understand how they think. You understand their next steps and strategies towards you. So, conclusively, about that point, I think we need to study, we need to understand ourselves, we need to develop a positive thinking, we need to forgive ourselves. I had forgotten that point. Sometimes you're too harsh on yourself. If something happens, it has happened. Now it is in the past.
How about wanting to know, like accessing this kind of podcast information that you can educate
yourself? Looking for information and educating yourself.
And also to try and read books that relate to whatever it is that you want to understand so that you can be more empowered with the knowledge and you know what to do with it. Yeah. Because there's a lot of resources out there.
That's the thing you talked about, external empowerment. We get empowered through reading a lot. You read online, you read books. Because people who write books, they're not stupid. somebody writes their experience. And when you learn from somebody's experience, it's the best thing.
I mean, for me, that's why I love reading, because it saves you a lot of drama within your own life, solving your problems, how to navigate these things in life. So you read something about relationships, something about spirituality, something about business. There's pretty much all sorts of literature out there in regarding to all sorts of topics. So it's a good habit and practice to have when you begin searching for knowledge, because yes, we may not know it all, but at least you're on your journey to somewhere, as opposed to somebody who is in sort of, we have that thing of active ignorance, rejecting information and knowledge on purpose. It's like, what I know is what I know. You can't tell me otherwise until forever and ever.
Yeah, and you see, that's very, very beautiful. You see, there is a point we talked about active what? Ignorance.
Yeah.
When you do not have access to information. Now I want to give some solution that I use that helps me. Try to understand the problems around you. They'll lead you to information. How? When you pay attention, you'll be aware of what's happening in your society,
your environment,
and you understand the problems that affect people. You can ask them. There are different methods of collecting data, trying to understand. You can ask people, you can read posts online, you understand the problem, because a problem that is societal is talked about by almost everyone.
Yeah.
So when you understand that problem, you develop a solution. From developing solutions, when you want to develop solutions, you look for information. It will be subconscious, but you will do it.
Yeah, I think it's actually the best way to fight your battle and help yourself. Yeah. You guys, thank you so much for watching. I think this is it for today. Unless Tom has anything else he would love to say, someone who is hearing this for the first time.
Thank you.
Is there any last words you want to say to the person?
Yeah, thank you.
Regarding to disempowerment and ignorance?
It has really been beautiful. I hope to discuss more if I'm given a chance. And thank you for inviting me. And lastly, my name is TOMUSANGE everywhere.
On your socials? Media. Okay.
TOMUSANGE.
We'll put your handles in the comments, information below. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching this segment. And we shall see you in our next podcast. Thank you. Bye.